You're listening to episode 32 of the Let's Go Comic Show. My name is Justin.
I'm Matt.
How you doing, buddy?
I'm doing good, man. Not too bad of a, Halloween candy hangover, but
the day after.
Yeah, the day after.
The day after. I didn't eat any Halloween candy last night.
Oh, really?
Not a single piece. I've eaten a lot today at work.
Oh, really?
I've had so many of those like wrapped Twizzlers.
Oh.
Red Vine is my go-to, but like no, you can't eat red vines out of a freaking trick-or-treat bag.
Yeah, you don't want that from anybody.
You don't want that from anybody.
That is going to be shady.
Yeah, but I'm excited to talk comics today. That's what we do. We talk about comic books, comic movies, comic TV show, anything that has to do with the world of comics. But we put our own little spin and rating on it because we want to let you know what's the best of the best, the cream of the crop, what rises to the top, Matt Ritchie. And let me tell you, today we are going to give you our rating system based on the aforementioned Halloween trick-or-treat candy.
Indeed.
Boom! So, Matt, what is our rating system? Let everybody know.
So the highest rating we can give is a gotta go.
That's right. That's the best.
Yep. Peanut butter cups, dude. I don't understand why anyone wouldn't want peanut butter cups.
Because
gotta go
they make Snickers. There we go. Gotta go. Get that Snickers.
The next one is going to be a Let's Go.
Let's go.
Our namesake. What would you put in that category?
Skittles. I like Skittles.
Oh, all right.
Bite-sized candies. Taste the rainbow. It's like the Green Lantern Corps. It's the Jeff Johns of candy. It's always good, dude.
Dude, I'm going to be a little controversial because I know I've just seen recently on social media, all of a sudden there's this wave of people that hate it. I like candy corn a lot.
I like candy corn. I thought you were going to say like grape nuts. Like, I would love if somebody gave me grape nuts.
Nope.
Going back a couple episodes. Yeah, candy corn's good. Candy corn reminds me of Halloween. It's only good for about 4 days.
Oh, yeah. No. Then
like
it's
generally
just
in 4 days,
wax.
Eat it and then it's done. All right.
Then we have a go.
Yeah, go. Go for me is like, all right, like gummy bears. Someone gives you gummy bears in like little wrap candy bag. It's not Halloween candy, but it's all right. Gummy bears.
Yeah, for me,
or gummy worms.
That's like a Starburst.
Okay.
It's like, it's fine. Like, I'm not excited about it, but I'm not mad about it.
Like, it's good.
And the lowest one we have is a don't go.
It's a don't
what
go.
Would fall in that category for you?
Those weird
Halloween candy.
Those weird marshmallow peanuts. Like, don't give those out.
Oh, circus peanuts?
Yeah.
I like those. It's weird to give those out, but I like them as candy.
They're like orange. They're like bright orange.
Yeah.
It's like
I would
peanuts
say
aren't bright orange.
For me, it's all the Tootsie Roll knockoffs.
Oh, yeah.
Like, that's just a waste of space, dude. Just put those straight in the trash.
Thanks, cheapo. You should start like making a grid of your neighborhood. Like, who gave what out? What?
Yeah.
Why?
We skipped this house, son.
Yeah. We actually had that guy who gave out red vines out of a bucket last night.
No.
And then my kid like wants to put it right in his mouth. Like, no! I'm like, that thing is poison. Yeah. Anywho, there you go.
Anyway,
so,
there we go.
There you go. You got our system down. So now we're about to jump into some comic book news. We got a lot this week, Matt Ritchie, right?
We got a lot of news this week?
Not really. We don't got a lot, but we have a lot to say.
We have a lot to say.
Yeah.
Comic book news, one of the big ones coming out just after we recorded last week.
Boom. What did we say? What did we say?
This stuff was going to happen
the
as soon as we were done
new
recording.
Stuff's going to come out, yeah.
We have Shazam cast for the upcoming movie. Formerly known as Captain Marvel, but
Captain Marvel.
No. Just don't want to confuse everybody, I guess.
Yeah.
Zachary Levi.
Hey, I like that.
Has been cast. What
TV's
have
Chuck.
you seen him from? Yeah, I was going to say Chuck. He was great.
And
he was the voice of the lead male role. I probably should know his name. In Tangled, the Rapunzel movie from a few years back.
Yeah.
Super charming, like fun character.
Mm-hmm.
He was a dark, brooding, kind of lame character in the Heroes reboot they tried to do a year or two ago.
Yeah.
That was unfortunate. But then he also took over for Fandral.
Yeah, he
from the second Thor movie.
Yeah.
He wasn't in
really
the first one.
He looked weird, though, with the bleached hair. And
oh, yeah, for sure. The blonde goatee and stuff. All that to say, I think he's a fun guy.
Yeah, he's definitely got geek cred and stuff. I know he runs the Nerd HQ stuff. He's definitely involved in like geek community, and so I'm excited for him to be Captain Marvel. Man, it's just such a it's gonna be really hard because it's confusing to people. I'm just Shazam, and I think that's why they're gonna call him Shazam, because the whole Captain Marvel thing is just
yeah. Anyway.
But I think he's gonna be a really great Captain Marvel.
Yeah, I think because here's what I look for in. You said Captain Marvel.
I know, even though I just said...
Here's what I look for with Shazam.
Yeah.
Is I think he's best done... I mean, there's been a couple takes on the character that he's a young boy that when he says the word Shazam transforms into a superhero adult, right?
Yeah.
And there's been two different takes I think that I've come across where when he becomes Shazam, he's kind of like a different person.
Yeah.
Like he just becomes a different personality and he is that person. But my favorite take is when it's still Billy Batson.
Yes.
But he's just in this giant body, a la like Big.
Yeah.
Which I think makes for such a fun, interesting character.
It has to be
differentiates him from people like Superman, which seems really similar.
Well,
and I think with that understanding, I think someone like Zachary Levi is perfect.
Yeah.
Like to picture him portraying like a preteen teenager, depending on where they go with this one, like that's fantastic.
Oh yeah.
I think that gets the character.
I liked, some people didn't like it as much, the Jeff Johns kind of New 52 version. I think Billy Batson was a little bit of a jerk in some of it. Like, I like when he's a little more of a scruff. I don't like when he's kind of a jerk.
Yeah.
And so I didn't particularly care too much for that, so I hope they don't make him like the jerky...
Like the troubled teen.
Yeah, I don't know. But
you also don't want to be like the golly gee like kind of kid either. But I think there is this sense of like wonder and stuff like that. This kid's like, whoa, I get to do all this awesome stuff.
Now that part's fun. Like that's the part you want to explore. Don't say the word Shazam.
You want to explode.
So what I was going to say, I really was excited to hear it because there was a rumor, and it wasn't true at all. Years right before Henry Cavill was cast as Superman, there was a rumor that Zachary Levi was up for Superman, which he wasn't. It was just kind of this speculation and stuff, and he even denied it.
Which he could totally do, though, too. I could see that.
Yeah, and so I'm actually pretty pumped for it.
Yeah.
And he's excited, so, hey, man. And he's even like, hey, I got to go to the gym, which is...
Yeah, that would be the only like thing where I'm like, traditionally, Shazam, like even more so than Superman, just looks like this big muscle-bound dude, which is why I think like a month ago or something, people are like, maybe John Cena is going to do it. And I'm like, I think he's funny enough where he can make the personality thing work, and he's got the right kind of body to like make it work. And so I think this is the opposite, where we know like he's fine acting and that kind of stuff, but then body-wise, I'm like, it's just going to have to be a different take on Shazam. It's just not going to be this big, crazy, strong man looking guy.
Yeah.
He'll still be buff and stuff like that. I mean, obviously we've seen that with person after person going into superhero films. Like they got the right people doing nutrition and workout regimen and stuff.
I'm never worried about body type, to be honest. Like they did that to Gal Gadot. They do it all the time. To me, I'm like, people are going to go to the gym and they're going to get ripped and they're going to get huge. Now, I wouldn't have been upset with the John Cena idea. I just like the idea of John Cena potentially going up against The Rock in a film. But then again, that's kind of like on the nose.
Yeah,
so
a little.
I think Zachary Levi is a great casting. Good job, whoever made that decision.
Yeah, I'm excited for this movie. I want to see what's going to happen.
It's going to be really fun. Does it come out the same year as Marvel's Captain Marvel? Like Shazam?
Oh, that's a good idea.
That'd be really confusing, like Shazam. Because I don't think they're going to call him Captain Marvel. They're probably just going to call him Shazam. Just really weird. He's all, my name's he can't say his name. That could be a really funny like joke.
Yeah, totally.
But
he's just going to be that guy.
He's just going to be that
guy. The gold red blur.
The gold red blur. So, yeah. I hope that Superman can be like an inspiration to him. That would be a fun...
Yeah, dude.
Not that Superman has to show up, but he's like, I'm going to be just like Superman,
Totally.
The guy who died and came back. So, Spoilers. All right.
Any other news you want to hit up? That was all I had.
Nah, there wasn't anything really huge. I was just kind of joking, but I thought it was important to talk about because this episode, we don't have time for trash juice.
No, there was enough of that last
week, and there's still more of it. What we said last week is still relevant today.
Yeah.
So just replay that part and go, people, you guys calm down.
But we have one main event.
Yeah, there was one main event. I will say, though, like some of the stuff that came out this week, Henry Cavill kind of revealed some information. He's like, our DC films haven't been connecting with everybody, and people are kind of an uproar over that. And again, it's just like, relax, people. He's even more willing to commit to being Superman. He's not. It's just he's like, you know what? It didn't connect, but we're excited for the next phase, and so that's been kind of making the rounds. But overall, calm down, people. Have fun. They're just movies,
right?
All right. So talking about movies. Oh man,
we have a movie.
Yeah, we have a movie and it's coming out this weekend. So there's going to be spoilers here. So if you want to wait, watch Thor Ragnarok and then come back and listen to the show.
Yes.
So we're just going to talk, open and honest about this movie. And so right off the bat, Matt, what did you think about Thor Ragnarok?
I thought it was the most fun I've had at a Thor movie.
Mm-hmm.
I will say that.
Yeah. Definitely was.
It was an enjoyable experience. I will say that.
Yeah. It was super fun, and I'm going to rate it. Do you want to rate it now, or you want to rate it?
Yeah, we could rate it, and then we can kind of revisit it once we talk about it and see if it changes.
I'm giving it a let's go. It's definitely fun. It was super fun. Like that, I will say I had a fun time.
Yeah, and I can have like quibbles and concerns over things, and still say,
I wish I got quibbles in my Halloween candy bag. Those are delicious.
Gross. It doesn't sound like it.
Sounds like nerds, but they're called quibbles. Give me some quibbles.
Oh man, give me some quibbles. Quibbles and bits
from Suicide Squid.
Oh gosh.
All right.
No, but I would say like I can still have things that I say like, oh, I didn't think that was as good, and still say that it was fun overall. So yeah, I would agree. It's a let's go. Don't listen any further if you. Actually, not even if. Like, you should go see this movie.
Yeah, it's fun. Like, go watch Thor Ragnarok.
Like, I'm looking forward to going and seeing it again. Like, I'll totally do that.
Yeah, there was so much to enjoy in it. There was just a few parts that we'll get into, but yeah, I'm trying to think. Like, let's get into the stuff that we liked first, right? Can we do that?
Yeah, let's do that.
I'm gonna say the cast overall was great. There's only one person in the cast that I had a problem with, and I'll get to that. But I just want to give like praise to everybody.
I'm curious who you had a problem with, because I'm just going to come out and say that Jeff Goldblum is a national treasure. That man was wonderful. It was just enjoyable every time he was on screen. It was totally over the top, totally goofball. But it just looked like he was having a lot of fun with it, and I think you could tell. Yeah.
Well, this brings us to the person I had a huge problem with, and that was Jeff Goldblum. Here's the thing: I am a Jeff Goldblum appreciator. I like him. In this movie, I could care less about him.
Really?
He just felt like Jeff Goldblum, and I'm like, you are a freaking...
Was it like a elder or something like that, or
he just felt like this commissioner of fighting on a planet, and it just felt like he just showed up. He just showed up. And I was excited because they had that little picture of him at the end of Guardians of the Galaxy 2, and I'm like, oh, is he going to be... He wasn't even eccentric in a way of like a character. He was just Jeff Goldblum, like he was on freaking Conan O'Brien talking. That I didn't...
dude, I thought that like just him like calling him Lord of Thunder over and over again.
That's okay. Those parts were funny.
Calling him Sparkles or something. I was like, oh yeah, I saw something.
It was funny, but it was like it didn't feel like anybody who was alien. It felt like just a funny guy from Earth. And so I think
I wasn't mad about it. I was just like, he was.
Did I enjoy it? Yeah, but when I really sat back and I was like, come on, Jeff Goldblum's. But anyway, yeah. So Taika Waititi, right? Waititi, is that how you say it? Like, I think he kind of just surprised me with the visuals, because he's not known for this big spectacle. And this thing was up there with, I would say, is up there with James Gunn with like Guardians of the Galaxy look and feel. Everything was epic. We were talking earlier, the part with the Valkyrie scene, that was amazing.
That shot, and then the shot of Thor like landing on the Bifrost, like with all that like pile of people, and you have like the lightning coming around, and he's like slow motion landing. I'm like, like
pretty awesome.
Oh, dude, yeah,
so much good, so much like.
Visually, it was really wonderful.
Yeah, it's so weird because it is such a fun and good time. There's just the parts that break it down for me, but overall, it's probably the most enjoyable Thor movie.
Oh yeah, no,
and
I
it's
think
the third
that's the
one,
most fun I've had at a Thor movie.
Yeah,
I would say the other thing, Hulk having a little more development and talking.
Yeah,
loved that.
That's super helpful too. I think people just connect even more. Like, talking Hulk, which we're used to in comics. Like, Hulk does get a little bit. I don't think he was super smart. He was still very like, the dumbed down version of Banner. But I
almost wonder if he was like. Here's my like headcanon for this: is that the reason we haven't heard him talk before is because he was only Hulk in like little spurts.
Yeah,
and this one, because he had been Hulk for 2 years straight. Mm-hmm. Maybe he like developed like as if he was like a 2-year-old.
Yeah. Oh, dude.
Do you know what I mean? And that's like why he was talking the way he was. So he's not like dumb, but like as far as learning communication and learning to speak and that kind of stuff.
Yeah. That kind of goes along. I was going to talk about like Hulk being, because we were talking on the Let's Go podcast just about Hulk. How can Hulk be there? Eric was a guest on. He was asking that question. How can he still be Hulk? And my theory was maybe he was just Hulk so long that he just it was harder for him to change back, and they kind of alluded to some idea.
Yeah, they alluded
like
that he was like, "Wait, I couldn't like." It's not like we were side by side and I was in the passenger seat. It's like I was in the trunk.
Yeah, and it's kind of like
I think it makes sense coming out of Age of Ultron, though.
Yeah, no, it totally does. Like the one thing that makes sense coming out of Age of Ultron is Hulk maintaining his Hulkness, and that actually what you said makes so much sense. Like he's like a baby and he's starting to grow and become more and have this understanding of who he is as Hulk, and I like that.
Yeah, dude, and all the different things, like how he was like
baby arms.
It's like they took that one snippet of a scene in the first Avengers movie where they're fighting side by side, and then Hulk just punches Thor out of the shot.
Yeah.
And it's like they took that and they're like, what would it look like if they kept hanging out after that? And that's what we got in this movie.
Hulk and Thor is great.
I was for it. Oh.
Yeah. I was Thor it.
Thor it.
Hey, Thor. There might be some Thor puns in this episode just because.
Maybe just a few. They
trying to be Thoro.
Just all the mannerisms and everything about the Hulk. Like when he's hanging out and he's just like throwing that ball against the wall in the room. Or like telling him like, and they're arguing of like, well, fine, go. Well, yeah, fine, I will. Like all of those elements like that, dude. It's the most personality I've seen out of Thor.
Yeah.
Too. And I was a little concerned going into the trailers. Like, would we lose him feeling like Thor for the sake of it being funny? And I felt like they still kept him intact. Like, it feels like the same guy that's developed through the past few movies. Mm-hmm. Especially, oh, dude, one of the other things I loved, that opening sequence where he's just fighting all of those guys and Surtur. Oh my gosh, dude. Like, that's the Thoriest Thor has ever Thored. In that, like, just the way he used the hammer, the way he was fighting, just how, like, it just felt like this swashbuckling adventurer, like, kind of, like, outrageous, like, kind of, like, vibe. And I thought it was a great...
The hammer stuff was great in that, too, in that scene, just that whole... So, jumping back into cast, I know we're talking about our favorite parts. Valkyrie by Tessa Thompson. Mm-hmm. She was great.
Yeah.
I thought she was like it. Thank you for making another character we can connect with and it wasn't throwaway, you know. Whereas I felt like Idris Elba, I feel for that guy because Heimdall is just kind of there.
Dude, kind of had a point, cool, and he's throwing everything he can into that.
Yeah.
And it just doesn't feel like they're using him like he could be.
I know who will use him though.
What?
Be Jon Stewart. Be Green Lantern.
Oh gosh. Yeah,
come on, Idris Elba. Come on over. Or you'll be used. You know? Yeah, I don't know. I think that would be awesome. But anyways, neither here nor there. I just kind of was like, I wish he could have done something a little more awesome. He looked a lot like freaking Bishop from X-Men, didn't he? He really had, especially with that drapey, like,
totally.
over cloth over his shoulder.
He's great.
Kind of looked like Bishop. But, Carl Urban, he's cool. Like, I thought he'd have had a different part, but it was like he was just there. Because he's Carl Urban.
I think that... Look, I think we just need to get to a point where when we go into a Marvel movie, we just need to go in with the understanding that the villains are a means to an end.
Yeah, but he wasn't
like
really
they're not
a villain.
there to be... Well, and that's the thing. Like, don't use a guy named Scourge if that's what part you're going to have him play. Because, like, that's just... And to call him the Executioner, because that's what he's known as in the comics. Mm-hmm. But then he doesn't really do anything. Like... I'm fine. I'm not against like a character having like a change of heart.
See, I don't know anything about Scourge.
Oh, he's like
he was reluctant because he didn't want to.
Well, he's like the right hand man for Enchantress usually, and he's the Executioner. That's what Scourge the Executioner is what he's known as. And so why?
It's like, I'm Scourge.
It just felt like a waste of that character specifically to use him in that capacity. Yeah. I don't mind the trope of like, well, I don't really want to be a bad guy, but I'm going to, but then I'm going to change. Like, that's fine. Like, that's just a part of these kinds of stories.
It would have been a prop. It
just didn't feel like a great use of that character or Carl Urban specifically. Yeah, in my mind.
It would have been a little more awesome now that you say that if when Hela shows up and he becomes, you know, her like executioner and like taking out her dirty deeds, then you're like, then you start to hate him because you kind of felt bad for him throughout the whole movie every time you saw him.
Yeah, because they always kept filming him giving that like puppy dog look.
Oh. But it would have been really awesome if he did like do something like terrible, and then freaking Thor or Hulk just knocks the crap. Like you didn't get that like instead he dies a hero. Spoilers, he dies a hero at the end.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I think, because I was wondering, like, oh, she's making him the executioner. Okay, so maybe he starts as kind of this goofy, like, no one cares. But then once Hela is defeated, maybe Enchantress shows up, you know what I mean, and takes him under her wing, and then nothing that interesting happened to him. What else? Any other cast or people that you want to point out that you liked?
Hela. I thought Cate Blanchett was great as Hela. Like, I thought she looked good. I believed her when she was on the screen, and she carried herself well. So she, obviously it's Cate Blanchett. She's going to look great on screen and stuff. But in the midst of all of the Marvel villains, I feel like she's at least in the top 3 that were in the films.
Yeah, I think.
Which is funny because they're from the 2 are from Thor movies.
Yeah, I just didn't think she did that much in the long run. Like, it felt like the story was more about Thor and Hulk and all those guys, and then they're like, oh yeah, and there is a bad guy, and she was kind of, like I was saying earlier, like a means to an end.
Okay.
Kind of seems like we just need to kind of make peace with that's how Marvel tells stories, is that there has to be a bad guy because there has to be a reason for the hero to go somewhere.
Yeah.
But the bulk of the time isn't going to be spent on
she
them. Do you know what I mean?
brought Ragnarok to freaking
No,
Asgard.
She didn't. Thor did.
Well,
that was the thing. Like, once they brought in Surtur at the end, and it was all Thor's plan and stuff, I was like, well, she didn't really. She was awesome. Like, all of the battle scenes with her and stuff when she was taking out like hundreds of soldiers on her own. Like, I'm not going to say that's not rad. Like, and it wasn't cool, but I think just in the scope of things, I was like, oh, you didn't end up doing that much. Like, you didn't destroy. I was expecting her to be the cause of like, oh, she's going to get there and she's going to start Ragnarok. Nope.
Okay.
Like,
all right, I can see that.
She didn't destroy Asgard. She didn't do much when they were like, hey, there's people that are
Assburg.
Asgard.
No, he called it Assburg.
Did he?
Yeah, he's Assburg.
See, and you didn't like him.
There's jokes.
Dude, there were a lot of jokes. Do you want to transition to talking about the jokes?
Well, I want to finish up with Hela real quick.
Yeah.
I like that she was... I didn't see her coming in. I don't know anything about her. So her being like Thor's sister, I don't know if that's a thing.
Yeah, I have no idea.
Probably not. Who cares? I did kind of hope she would have survived and became part of like Thanos' crew. And I don't think that's happening. So
yeah. I mean, I was hoping for something that would happen where she was taken care of, but she wasn't out of the picture completely.
Yeah. So, and that was it. Like, wow, don't.
But that's always my hope with villains.
Is that they stay on?
Yeah, it was like, get rid of them, but don't like kill them every single
Potential
time.
for return would be really cool, but I guess it's Cate Blanchett. She ain't. I'm not signing a 9-picture deal with Marvel.
Right.
I'll do one. It'll be cool. I'll ham it up, and that's it. And so that's you get what you get. Don't throw a fit. You move on. But so there was that, and then
what did you think about Doctor Strange being in there?
Okay, so I'm glad you brought that up. It was in my notes. I liked the end of Doctor Strange with him and Thor conversing. Right? I was like, oh, to me that was like, this seems good.
Yeah, totally.
I hated that whole sequence in the movie.
Really? Okay.
It was annoying because it was like, okay, we get the joke of you moving Thor, and then it just became a joke. Now it became like, it's a joke. It's like someone keeps like pulling your chair out, like when you're trying to sit down, and it got old because they did it like 7 times. Okay. And from what you saw in the Doctor Strange movie, it was them talking. It seemed kind of like a serious like conversation between Thor and Doctor Strange, and they were going to like, hey, we're going to handle some business. Let's talk about it. Instead, it was like, I'm going to do a sight gag over and over and over and over. And so I didn't like that.
Well, I feel like they changed that too. Because did you notice, like at the end of Doctor Strange, it was an agreement that I'll help you find him. Yeah. Not I know where he is.
Yeah.
And which then, did you notice the change from the trailers to the movie?
Yeah.
With Hela. Well, even with Hela, where she breaks the hammer into pieces. In the first trailer, that was in an alley in New York.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
Oh.
And I remember seeing pictures from the set of Anthony Hopkins looking like a crazy like bum.
Okay, I heard about that.
And they never used that.
They were in New York for a moment, and then...
Yep.
So I wonder what type of reshoots and stuff they did. Because I know they cut...
Yeah, well, I looked it up.
Yeah.
Because I guess he talked about it in an interview. He said that it just felt like everything up to that moment was so like boom, 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 like that it needed something to kind of be peaceful for a few minutes. And so they reshot all of that in a different place instead of having it in New York. He's like, and that was prettier to have than an alleyway.
Yeah, I like the whole scene with Anthony Hopkins.
So it was just interesting to see the difference because I was like, wait, he already knows where he is? Didn't he say like he's gonna? It was just interesting to see like the slight variations in that.
Yeah,
but I can see like how the sight gags would kind of undercut.
Yeah.
Like that it's actually an important thing that he's helping him do.
Did Josh Whedon do all that stuff? Did he film those scenes?
Oh, gosh.
No, he did it. Snyder did. Okay, sorry.
Oh, gosh.
It just made me laugh. So, good call. Good eye. I didn't catch that. The only thing I caught in the trailers was like Thor's eye. Like it was there in the trailers, and it's not there in the movie. And so
that was another thing I liked. I think that's
liked
cool.
it too.
It changes the character. It moves him forward in a way that I didn't hate.
Well,
because there were other changes and things that changed the character that I did not like.
Did you pick up on this? She's all, "Oh, you don't look like our father." And then
she's like, "Now you do."
Yeah. Boom. So
yeah,
I like that.
I picked up on that.
Good stuff.
Picking up what you're putting down.
Picking up what I'm putting down. So some of the stuff I want to talk about was the overtly awesome freaking Kirby stuff going on. It was
man,
everywhere, and it made me think like Kirby has such a distinct look and a thumbprint all over the Marvel universe. I was thinking about, man, if DC ever gets into like the fourth world New God stuff on film, is it going to feel like it's part of this Thor stuff? Because like Kirby dots and Kirby line signatures and the things that he incorporated into suits and stuff.
Yeah, the different shapes and stuff like all over everything.
Yeah, and I'm like, oh, that's the one thing. Like, come on, Steppenwolf does not look like the Kirby Steppenwolf from Justice League. He looks looks like gray guy, big gray heavy metal guy, and
he kind of looks like Surtur.
He does kind of look like Surtur, to be honest. But I wish that
I wonder if people are like, hey, wasn't he?
Yeah, well, he was in Thor. They're connected. Everything's connected, and so I think that Steppenwolf could have had a better like Kirby design. Anywho, I don't want to get into Justice League so much. It just made me think about the beauty of Kirby and his designs. And
yeah, man. Once he gets to Sakaar, like,
Sakaar was
just
cool.
Great.
I loved everything in Sakaar.
Yeah,
yeah,
including the main event or the fight between.
The fight was fun. The fight was great. Like,
it was so good.
See, okay, my biggest issue, and I'll just jump into, is the humor in the movie. The humor in the movie, I like humor. I like when it feels natural. I don't like when it feels forced. And there was times where it was natural, and that's how Thor is. Thor is an excited guy, and I think his time on Earth has given him a perception of like how Earth humor is and stuff like that. And people like Tony Stark are going to rub off on you if you're hanging around them all the time.
Which they had that reference to.
Yeah.
It's like the strongest Avenger.
Yeah, that was funny.
Point Break.
That was actually really good. So stuff like that I can appreciate, but like the part that really frustrated me in the entire movie was when Thor and they're in like Hulk's apartment and Valkyrie's in there, and he's like, "I'm gonna go do something heroic or whatever."
Because that's what heroes do, and then the ball knocks him out.
You're a buffoon.
Oh man, I laughed so hard at that moment.
Yeah, but it was such a cheap shot. It was such a cheap joke. It was like, okay, he throws the ball, he throws the thing, and it hits him in the face. Like, it actually made me roll my eyes. I was like, come on, dude, this is Thor. He's the god of thunder. I'm starting to think that he's just a goof now, because how does he let a ball hit him in the face in a moment? Like, it would have been so much more powerful if he's like, we're going to do this, leaps out of the thing and goes finds the ship. Instead, he gets hit in the face with the ball. I'm like, was that necessary?
Yeah, I mean, I can see that.
It was the fart joke of the movie to me. I'm like, that makes you laugh, but in the end, you're like, was that a necessary like scene that we needed? And I just think we didn't need it. And there was a few of those, even at the end. Oh man, what was his name again?
The rock guy.
Yeah, the gray thing. Craggle,
who was played by Taika Waititi.
Oh man, I can't think of who he was. Korg.
I thought he was great.
I thought Korg
it was
great.
very over the top, dry New Zealand humor. It was like what it felt like.
Yeah, no, I liked Korg, but I think at the end, once they're all gone, they're on the ship, and then Thor has that back and forth with Heimdall, and it's like, no, Asgard is its people, and then they do this joke, and I'm like, we couldn't have any weight. Anytime there was something of significance that was going to make you feel or give you, something to process, it was time for a joke. And that's the stuff that made me like, this could have been a gotta go, but it wasn't, because there's too many jokes. And I like jokes, but I don't want it to be forced. And I really hope that moving forward, Thor isn't like the jokey guy. He's funny because he's fish out of water. Like Thor 1 was funny, but it was because he was fish out of water. And it was like, he's jovial, and he's like, give me another. Like that's funny, but it's true to the character, and it feels natural. The jokes in this movie didn't feel natural all the time. Some of them did. Like, he's a friend from work. That works for me because that's Thor. Like, that's how he's...
Yeah, like a genuine excitement and stuff like that. You just didn't like the slapstick stuff as much.
Yeah, and I didn't like the haircut thing with Stan Lee. Like, it would have been cool that Stan Lee's cutting his hair, but I feel like Thor's a warrior, and he's not about his personal appearance. He wouldn't have been, no, don't cut my hair. Like, that was, to me, I was like...
How'd you feel about the elevator joke? Like, where him and Loki were kind of having a moment, and then he's like, hey, we're going to do the somebody get help.
Nah, I thought it was funny, but it wasn't that... That didn't take it out of anything. I don't know. It didn't make me like go yes or no. I mean, I thought it was a funny thing, but
so here's to go back to that last scene.
Yeah.
Why I actually wasn't upset by it. I felt that a lot of this movie. I mean, I think there's similarities you can draw between it and Guardians of the Galaxy and the way those movies work, right? As far as the amount of jokes per minute, like it's a lot.
Yeah.
For me, for both Guardians of the Galaxy movies, they did that the entire movie, but then at the end they expect you to have like this emotional connection with them where I'm like, but you've been undercutting everything the entire time. Like, why do you expect me to all of a sudden... Do you know what I mean? Like I thought Yondu, spoilers, was maybe alive still and it was going to be another joke.
Yeah.
But then it wasn't, and it was this really serious moment, and then this touching, like, you know, Cat Stevens song, and I'm like, yeah, I guess. Like, it... Because we talked about that when we talked about the movie, like, you can't joke, and then but take this part seriously.
Yeah.
Like, and I can give Thor this. Like, it was consistent at least. Like, it never let us rest in that serious moment for too long. Which I think I'm curious to see how people take this and how they think about it, especially people that already have a preconceived notion of what Ragnarok means.
Yeah. Because
that could have been like the darkest, most epic movie in a different way, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And instead, I think it's a brave, and I think it's fairly like, I think it was executed well, this decision to kind of, because Ragnarok is such a crazy heavy thing, to like take it the complete other direction and like, let's make everything else in the movie really light when we're dealing with this. So I mean, I'm sure some people are going to feel a little bit like bait and switched, I'm sure.
Yeah.
From the title, especially the people that think like everything needs to be super serious and you can't have jokes, because I know that's been a problem for people before. I don't think it's that you can't have jokes. I think it's that you need to teach me what to expect in your movie. And if you're teaching me over and over and over again to expect a punchline, just keep delivering those then.
Yeah.
And I think Thor at least did that. Like I laughed, you know, with like, you know, as long as foundations, you know, we'll be able to come back and we'll rebuild it. And then everything blows up. He's like, oh, yeah, we can't do that anymore. Like, that didn't feel like it undercut a super serious moment for me, honestly. I think there were moments like that because I'm like, you can't expect me. Like, I almost didn't, the more I've thought about it, I didn't like Valkyrie's first introduction as much.
Really?
Where she just like, she looks like this badass, but then she just falls right off of the thing because she's drunk. Like, I was like, when you set every character up as a joke, like, I think that just gets hard for me to expect, like, to have an emotional investment. Or
but they were trying to say like, oh, she's tragic. You know, she's relying on, you know, she drinks to like numb the pain of lose. I get what they're doing. But I can
draw that line. I don't think they did.
Yeah. Well, and that's the thing. That's my problem with. Again, I agree with you. I like jokes. I like necessary jokes. Like in my life, I will go for the joke as much as possible. But when it's time to like maintain, like, hey, this isn't the time for a joke. Like, that's what I felt like. Oh man, that scene could have been way more powerful at the end, where freaking Korg didn't have to say that. You know?
Yeah, I mean, I get that, and I think one of the ones that I was like kind of back and forth on, like, I feel like this is kind of weird in the moment, was in that first sequence, as much as I loved it.
Yeah.
When he was hanging by the chain and he kept like interrupting him, like, hold on a second. Like, while he's like turning around.
Yeah.
I was like, you don't need that. Like, but that one I can at least explain away almost as like, he's kind of using that as to like taunt him. Do you know what I mean? Of like, whatever, man. Like, I'm not scared of you.
Yeah.
But at the same time, I was like, this is supposed to be like a dire situation for him.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That set the tone for the whole movie, though.
Oh, for sure.
Of like, okay,
absolutely.
This is the first time was kind of funny. I think it just went on too long, some of that stuff. So yeah, agreed. In my head I was like, man, how would I cut this film? How would I cut some stuff out? Because it just those things really kind of bummed me out. Man, I almost want to change my grade to a go.5 instead of Let's Go. Because Let's Go is a good rating. Like, and it's a fun movie, but there was those parts that just really break it down for me to like, it could have been stronger. And I wanted it to be like between a Let's Go and a Gotta Go. And the more I think about it right now, I'm like, yeah, man, those jokes really took away from who Thor is as a character. For me. It's like
I think that's fair. Like, I mean, that's
like I hope that the Russos, because the Russos haven't done Thor. They haven't used him in a movie.
That's true.
You know, he wasn't in Civil War and he wasn't in, Captain America: Winter Soldier. So this is going to be their first take on Thor, and I really hope they can kind of reclaim him a little bit, like use the humor, and they're good at that. They know how to balance that line of humor and drama.
Yeah.
And so I hope that they can bring him back to find a medium between that. I feel like Whedon did it fine. Like Whedon knew how to make it work,
Yeah, I mean, yeah. And so the jokes are one thing, and I think one of the other things was, it was, again, I think Taika Waititi like made very bold choices going into this.
Yeah,
like he was like, this is going to be what I want it to be, and it's going to be no one else's. And I think one of the main ways he showed that was destroying or killing anything that's kind of been the standard for Thor that's come before.
Yeah.
And I didn't like that. I thought it seemed really sudden and unexplained with Odin dying.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I was like, you just found him and he's like, yeah, my time's short and I'm done.
Away.
I'm like, wait, there's no reason for you being done though? Like it's just been 2 years hanging out on Earth and you're ready to be done?
Yeah.
I didn't like that.
It was like his decision. I'm going to disintegrate now.
Yeah, and release your sister.
Professor X'd out.
Like,
like, hey, I'm out.
Yeah, that was weird.
No!
That scene looked beautiful.
Yeah.
But it just felt like, again, like, I think there was a desire to have an emotional connection in some of those moments, but I'm like, but you moved everything so quickly. Like, I don't feel like I had time to really do that.
Yeah.
More so though was the dang Warriors 3 being taken out within seconds.
Yeah.
I did not like that.
Yeah. Well,
I get the decision. I get it. You're trying to like recreate Thor, and you're taking away Odin. You're taking away Asgard itself. You're taking away his hammer. You're taking away the Warriors 3. Like anything that you would think like this is a key component for Thor. His hair, like literally everything is gone.
Yeah.
And so you have this blank slate going forward. As like an artistic choice, I appreciate that. I get it.
Yeah.
For me, it just felt like unceremoniously killing off the Warriors 3 specifically. It just felt like, dang, like these are like the best warriors of Asgard, and they were just
taken out
right then, which I guess is supposed to mean something for Hela. But I think you can show like Hela is like, whoa, like she means business and she's even better than these guys. But at least give some weight to them dying.
Without being a part of Asgard, the Warriors 3 don't really have any purpose. And like, where was Sif? Like, they didn't explain Sif.
Scheduling conflicts.
There you go. She's like, oh, I couldn't be there. So,
right.
So here's the thing: is Sif still around? Could they bring Sif back?
I'm sure they can. Like I bet Jamie Alexander is probably like, man, I'm glad it didn't work out for me to be in that movie. Otherwise, my character would have been killed
character
off.
Could still be alive.
Yeah.
So she's definitely not on the ship, but she's somewhere in space. But no one's clamoring for Sif to come back right now. Like no one's like, oh man.
No, I mean,
I actually just thought about her right now. Like, where was Sif?
Valkyrie and Thor, I thought had good chemistry.
Dude, Valkyrie greater than Sif. There you go.
Dang.
Now what?
Also greater than Jane Foster.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Well,
she didn't break up with me. I broke up with her.
Yeah, that's just a weird situation right there. I don't know. Like, I don't know how I feel. I didn't mind Jane Foster. I like Natalie Portman is always like, you always fall in love with her.
That's fair.
So there you go. All right. Anything else about Thor Ragnarok do you want to talk about? Oh, let's talk about those mid-credit scenes.
Yeah. Okay. I thought they were both underwhelming.
Yeah. Oh man. The mid-credit one, I was fine with. I'm like, okay, it's mid. I didn't have to wait for the whole thing.
Do you have any idea whose ship that was?
I think it's Thanos' like one of his ships, right?
Yeah, that's what I would imagine. Yeah. It's Thanos of some sort. Like when we saw...
Or something, because...
When we saw the bootleg
Comic-Con
footage, it's Thor falling through space and going on the Guardians of the Galaxy's windshield.
Yeah.
So something has to happen to get him to that. So I'm guessing that's the lead into that.
I was hoping we would have got an Avengers trailer.
Just something.
Yeah, maybe it comes out this weekend or something like, hey, they're going to drop that. I don't
know if we can, though, because they're probably going to focus on Black Panther for now.
Yeah, but that thing comes out in May.
That's true.
We
maybe
haven't
like
seen
by Thanksgiving or Christmas time. That we'll
maybe Star Wars. It'll come out with Star Wars or something.
Yeah,
should make sense. Or Justice League. That'd be funny.
Yeah, I thought that was fine. Like it was like okay. It didn't really do much. I do like that they keep developing the complexity of Loki's character.
Yeah,
like he's not a straight bad guy, but he's never going to be a full good guy. Yeah. But then. And I think it shows a lot of Thor's character and how he treats Loki, and that he always, like, he doesn't trust him, but he's always looking for the best.
He's a true brother. He really is. He's always, like you said, but he knows him so well that he counts on his traitor's ways.
When he keeps like the bit throughout the movie where every time he's throwing something at him because he knows it's a hologram. Mm-hmm. And then at the end, when you have it, he's like, well, you're not even here. And he catches it. Yeah. I was like, that was a good payoff.
Yeah. Oh, exactly.
Sorry, but back to the final like post-credit scene. Yeah. As much as I like Jeff Goldblum in this movie, it was really lame.
I was like, I waited for that.
Yeah, I was like, there was no reason for me to wait for that. Yeah. Which I feel like Marvel, their post-credits ones are becoming more and more like that. Whereas like, there's no reason for me to be here for that.
Yeah. Part of me is like, why they even paid for the production of that? That was dumb. Unless it was the same day they filmed all the guys in the trash heap. They're like, oh, throw Goldblum in there real quick.
Yeah. Anything else you wanted to?
No, I did. You know, as much as I like that Led Zeppelin track.
Oh yeah, Immigrant Song.
Yeah, I was like, oh man, they just had to make their money's worth. Like I'm gonna play it like 4 times.
I was gonna say, dude, like 2 or 3 times, right?
Yeah, it worked great. I think it worked better in the beginning of the movie than at the end.
Agreed. I mean, I get the tie into it.
I get that. Yeah, I think they were trying to like sandwich it. And
I do. Okay, here's another thing I liked. Going back to that.
Yeah.
The way they powered up Thor, I really liked a lot.
Yeah.
They showed like he is awesome, even if he doesn't have the hammer.
I love that.
That aspect.
Are you the god of hammers or the god of thunder? That was freaking rad, dude. That was great.
And you see him with one eye, just like just taking dudes out. Gosh. Okay, and here's another thing.
All right.
Why I would put this above Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 2 for me still. Not only does it at least stay consistent with the jokes and stuff like that, I felt that the final action held up a lot better.
Yeah.
Than Guardians of the Galaxy. I feel like Guardians of the Galaxy was like joke. Mm-hmm. Bananas, like over the top action thing, like Giant Pac-Man, which is like funny. But again, like...
But it makes sense with Star-Lord and who he is.
But the action didn't hold up as well to where this one, the final battle, was still really cool. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I was super impressed by what he pulled off because that's not his playground.
Yeah.
So
have you seen
congrats to his
What
whole
We
team.
Do in the Shadows?
I saw 20 minutes of it.
Oh, dude, it's so funny.
I know. I need to watch it. So
he's funny.
Yeah.
I mean, and I already looked and saw like a headline that Waititi was saying that he would totally be up for making another Thor movie. But he would think of it less as Thor 4 and more of like a sequel to Ragnarok.
Yeah, I saw that Ragnarok 2 or whatever.
So I'm like, I get that.
Yeah. I'm hoping the stuff that he developed gets carried on into Avengers 3. But
it's an interesting new status quo for Thor. I'll give
and
you
Hulk.
That. Yeah, that's true.
Hulk, no one knows Hulk to be talky and on the team. Like he's going to be a brand new
and
like,
Banner,
version of Hulk.
Yeah, and Banner said like, if I change again, I don't know if I'm gonna come back.
Yeah,
and then he did. Yeah. Okay, what do you think of that last transformation of him? By the way, where he just falls onto the Bifrost and he doesn't actually change.
It reminded me of the Incredible Hulk with Edward Norton, where he jumps out of the plane to like to fight Abomination, and he's like, ah, and like. I was like, I could have broke his neck, dude.
Like, yeah, I was like, oh no.
And so, you know, again, it was a joke. Again, he hit the ground for the joke, and I thought it would have been way awesomer if like he hits the ground, and he's freaking like Hulk, because then it's like, oh, it's awesome. But it went for like joke, and I'm like,
there's a lot of interruptions and kind of like fulfilled like moments that you expect something to happen and then something else happens. I think that was kind of what the whole movie was.
Yeah, I would have cut right because she's like, "Who are you?" And then like he falls, and then he lands. Everyone looks like what? And then you come back again, and then he's Hulk. Like just cut that whole scene and go right to him being Hulk because that was the whole purpose of him jumping out of the ship
to show that he was Hulk.
Yeah, not to. It's like, oh, why don't make our heroes buffoons? That's all. Like You don't do that. That will never happen. Can you imagine that being Superman or Batman?
Yeah, you just can't, like, there gets to a point where, like, you can't expect me to take the character seriously.
Yeah. And that's it. Like, Tony Stark can be funny because he's a quippy one-liner guy. Spider-Man can do the same thing. And Star-Lord, I know them to do that, and it doesn't impact...
That's still not my favorite,
what?
By the way. Star-Lord being that way as well. It's fine.
I haven't
Chris
known,
Pratt
I haven't
is
known
really...
him to not, though. That's the thing. Like, he is influenced by, like, his childhood and things. That's all. And then he got kidnapped. And so that's all he knows. You know?
No, I know. I'm just meaning in terms of, like, how many characters are you going to have where their thing is being quippy and funny in awkward moments?
I'll buy it from Rocket. Drax needs to tone it down a little bit. But everybody else, you know. But I guess it's character development. Now he's mastering humor and all that stuff. But
yeah, everyone's character development is getting funnier.
Yeah, hey, I'm funny. Captain America. He's like, fart jokes.
So what would you want to see from here? Like, so this movie is done. Like, what do we want to see going into the rest of the...
I think I just
whether there's another Thor movie, Avengers, whatever it is.
Oh, if this makes a lot of money, there's another Thor movie, and so Hemsworth is like negotiations. Yeah, I just want to see people tone the humor back just a little bit. That's all. So again, like I said about Avengers 3, hopefully the Russo brothers can hone that in. You know, obviously they have to play in the playground that has been built for them. But you don't always got to swing on the monkey bars with one hand.
Yeah.
You know,
you can be funny without being a joke.
Exactly. There you go. So I want my heroes to be respectful, not like it's like that wrestling rule. Like you have certain wrestlers that you don't want them to be goofy. You know,
yeah.
You want them to be the powerhouse, and Thor needs to be a powerhouse.
Agreed.
He's not Rocket Raccoon. Rocket Raccoon could do whatever he wants. Star-Lord can be a buffoon because that's in his character.
Yep.
Thor can't be a buffoon, and he's a buffoon in my book now.
See, but then I feel like I look at that final shot of him, like King of Asgard, who are like now without a home, and he's got the eye patch and stuff. I'm like, he doesn't look like a buffoon.
No, he doesn't, but he freaking threw a ball at a window and hit him in the face. And
it's still funny to me.
It's just not. To me, it's not funny. And I'm like, why did they do that? That's like, let's have Batman slip in the Batcave on a banana peel. Like, Robin, like, no, he doesn't do that. And so, my last thought was like, oh, I wonder, like, they're just gonna take all of freaking Asgard to Earth. And are they gonna live in the comics
for?
Yeah, no, I remember in the comic. Where did they? Was it over like? Where were they located?
It's like Nebraska,
at? Yeah,
Oklahoma,
it was somewhere weird. They
like
just kind of floated over
somewhere where there probably wasn't anything to begin with.
Yeah. Hey. Thank you to all our listeners in the Midwest. You guys should sign up for our Patreon.
Love you guys.
So yeah, other than that, I'm still gonna. I'm gonna stick with my Let's Go.
Yeah,
because I feel weird giving it a go because it's not a go. It's a good time. It's fun. Those are and I'm not like this huge Thor appreciator. I like the character of Thor in the movies. I appreciate him in the comics when he shows up. Yeah. I haven't read more than like 10 Thor comics, you know. My gist of him, big guy, hammer. He's cool when he like drinks coffee. I think it's funny. He's like, oh, I enjoy this just drink, you know. Other than that,
yeah.
So there you go. Sticking with my Let's Go.
I am also sticking with the Let's Go. I think it has its issues, but I think most of those fall into my preference and not necessarily bad movie making.
Yeah. Fair enough. Yeah, it was a beautiful movie. I think it was done well. Just some different choices that I wouldn't have made.
Yeah, I think I see this trend a little bit in superhero stuff that wants to be lighter and more funny, losing a little bit of like, you still need to have some gravitas to it.
Yeah.
You still need to have some heart to it. And heart means there's consequences, there's stakes. And if you don't ever feel like there's stuff is at stake, or if you all of a sudden want people to feel like there's something at stake when you haven't been giving them that, I think that just gets a little tough.
Yeah. Well, I mean, going back to the Warriors 3, that took balls to kill them. Like, you were right. Like, I know they're kind of like minor characters, but they're Thor's buddies.
Yeah.
And I hope that he reflects upon that in another movie.
Yeah. The new status quo is like, that's ballsy.
Yeah. Well, and maybe Valkyrie's his new, like, you know, crew. It's Valkyrie, and I don't know who else is going to be with him. Like Hulk, I don't know. Maybe Sif comes back. It's like Sif and Valkyrie, and who knows? It'd be cool if he has
Heimdall.
like, I don't know if he's coming back, dude. It would be cool. Like, hey, I'm down for Heimdall to be in the crew, but I don't.
I know. He's just so cool.
I feel like he even made a comment like, I wish I had more to do. I'm just here. I'm contracted to be in this. Dark Tower didn't work out. I'm going to be Heimdall. And I'm like, just jump over to DC, man, because we need a Jon Stewart. But I think the Jon Stewart they want to do is supposed to be younger from what they said and whatever. Anyways, neither here nor there. Matt Ritchie, everyone who disagrees with you on the internet, how do they hit you up?
You can find me on Twitter at Matt Ritchie, MatTrichey.
Yeah. Matt doesn't like to fight online. He's a good guy.
No. I'm a peacemaker, man.
He's a peacemaker, much like Thor. He's just a jovial guy who likes to throw balls at walls and hit him in the face because he thinks it's funny.
It is funny.
You can find me at J_Rocco on Twitter. I would love to engage with you. That'd be fun. You can find the show at Let's Go Comic Show on Twitter and on Instagram. Please visit our website at www.letsgocast.com, or you can find us on Facebook at facebook.com/letsgocast. But the most important thing that we need to communicate to everybody, Matt, is to join our Patreon. If you enjoyed this show, we would love for you to be a part. There's a whole bunch of different levels to join at, different incentives. You can be a guest on the show. You can get some stickers. You can get some T-shirts. So please check that out. It would help us out. And we like doing the show. But as things happen, costs happen, and put a little dollar in the tip jar. That's all it is. That's what we're asking.
Indeed.
Yeah, that would be amazing. And that way we can actually do some more cool stuff. We would like to do more stickers and have different types of stuff, different shirts, and little fun promo items. Yeah. You know what I'm saying?
We want to keep developing like Thor. Just be funny.
Just like Thor. Hey, we're going to get haircuts and
get a lot funnier.
We're going to go to funny school. We're going to go take some funny classes.
Yeah.
Show some Thor butt crack. How'd you like the Thor butt crack?
Oh, gosh.
Dude, my kids are going to lose their minds when they see that. That's all they're going to talk about is Hulk's butt.
Oh.
I just know, like, my 5-year-old, everything's butt. So...
yeah.
Anywho. So check that out. Please leave us a 5-star review on iTunes. And we actually have a new one. Let me read it. Newest review is from Kaleidoscope, and it says, hurry.subscribe. If not, you are going to miss out on the manly, heartfelt reviews on movies and comic books about real people who do real people stuff, like fight villains in the name of good and love. The moral of my words, listen to these gents if you feel like being nice to yourself and enjoying laughing. P.S. Hosts, thank you for the high-quality production sound and pop culture erudition. You are ready to be world famous. I don't know what erudition means, but Matt Ritchie does.
I'm ready for it, whatever it is.
Matt is to erudition. That sounds great. Sounds like an art rock band, erudition.
I just feel loved by the effort put into the smithing of the words.
There you go.
In that review.
So thank you, Kaleidoscope. You are a Let's Gal. There you go. So if you'd like to leave us a review, if you want to top that one, please head to your iTunes store and give us 5 stars and the positive comment. Don't just do the 5 stars. Give us the comments, too. We like to read. Matt, I like reading. You like reading?
I like reading.
Make that happen. So thank you guys. Thank you for listening. You guys are all wonderful. My name is Justin.
I'm Matt.
Let's go.
Let's go.
Let's go.